Welcoming Vivian Weyll, the sales queen, to the stage.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. What? I thought this was the woman who leads. Hello, everybody. So nice to meet all of you guys today. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of my story, and I'll tell you why I'm here today. My name is Vivian. Thank you so much for the amazing introduction, Joanna. I'm from Brazil originally. I am the CEO of AIRE Insurance Group, which is one of the best boutique life IMOs in the industry. So that's what I mean when I say I know nothing about Medicare or health. Today, we are recognized as being one of the best, not because we're the biggest, but because we focus on things that nobody else in the industry focus on, specifically in life, which is persistency. We have the highest paying producers in the country when it comes to life because they have the highest persistency. A lot of people in the insurance industry out there for life, they talk a lot about how big we are, how much money we make, but they don't really talk about the money that they don't make, which is the ones that they need to pay back to the insurance carriers, right? So I'll tell you a little bit of where I came from. Only 5 years ago, 2019, I was going through the worst period of my life. I was going through a really bad divorce, a custody battle, ex-husband trying to take my son away from me. Knew nothing about insurance. I was an entrepreneur since I was 22 years old. And I desperately needed a lifeline. I will never forget, I live in Miami, and I will never forget going up the stairs, 14 flights of stairs, with my son in one hand and the groceries on the other hand, because the building cut off my elevator key because I had not paid the rent for 3 months. Never forget. But it was at that moment, at that specific moment, when I decided I was going to change my life. And I had never worked for anybody in my life, ever. I always owned my businesses, always ran my businesses, had very successful companies, sold some of them, and then had some really miserable failures as well. And I started looking for jobs. And when I started looking for these jobs, I actually got a job offer for $250,000. And on that offer, there was one catch. I had to work for somebody else. On the other hand, I learned about insurance. Knew nothing about specifically selling to people. I did do sales before, but I own an arts gallery and arts publishing company. But it just caught my eye. I was like, hold on a minute, how can you make so much money? Like what? This is a joke. It's a scam. There's no way. And that's when I decided to learn a little bit more about it. And what I realized, I went into a really sketchy corporate overview, but what I realized is that there's one thing about insurance that is very powerful. And I'm pretty sure it's the reason that a lot of you guys are here. When it comes to this business, you are in control. Whether you make it or you don't make it, it's up to you. And that was the one thing that absolutely got me. Because I didn't want to work for somebody else. I didn't want my hustle. I didn't want my grind. I didn't want my energy. I didn't want my love and my passion to feed somebody else's dreams. I wanted to feed mine. And where could I do that? Yeah, I could do it in my own business. I owned, a very nice, beautiful jewelry line that was all over Forbes, but it wasn't paying my rent. It wasn't paying my salary. And at that point, I just got to a place that I was like, what is the one thing that's going to allow me to be somebody that's in control of my outcome? That's insurance. So I went all in, got my license in 4 days. Very proud of that, because horrible with exam taking. But I was like, I'm gonna do this, baby. 4 days I had my license. Got into the field, knew nothing about insurance. My first week I made $8,000. My first month I made $38,000. My second month I made $60,000. But there was something there that I didn't like. There was something there that I was taught to sell like it just didn't feel right. It was like, let's use these pressure techniques. Let's create fake scarcity. Let's push people. Let's manipulate people. And it just didn't feel right. And that's when I decided to go completely the other way and become obsessed with how can I take the greatest industry on earth? And how can I create a system? And how can I create a vehicle that we are making it truly the best vehicle on earth? And that's when I created the systems that allowed for me to become a $100,000 income earner in life insurance within 6 months. And then fast forward a year, I had an agency doing $1 million a month with some of the biggest, the brightest, the most incredible producers with a 90% persistency rate in life insurance. That changed everything for me. Because now, fast forward to that lady on the stairs and the lady that has this agency thriving. I do have my passion. I do have my enthusiasm. I am selling. I am in control. It's my business. And where else can you do that? And my income? It's stupid, right? So fast forward 5 years today, we've been able to build a business that I never in a million years thought it was even possible, let alone, get to the point that we are today. So here's the thing. I always kept hearing Medicare, 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 Medicare. And there's one thing about life insurance. I know that you guys might be hearing this story and you might be like, oh my God, hey, where's my contract? I want to sell life insurance. You get to a point in your life, and I'm sure that there's people here that are doing really well, making really good money, has that fulfillment. And then there's people here that are brand new, they're just getting into the business, they want to make it, they want to get to the point that they don't have to worry about certain things. And there's people here that they're just like trying to get that inspiration to just like go to the next level. That's all of us. Whether you make money or you don't make money, that's human nature. Human nature is growth. We crave growth, right? So for me specifically, when I look at the portfolio and the things that we do and what our agents are doing right now, everything sounds great. But how can we make it where they're able to really take care of the business today, which is the life insurance? They can have their book of business, they can keep getting paid. But how amazing would it be if you have both? If you're working half of the week, you're doing your life insurance and getting paid today, so you have the money for the leads for the health insurance tomorrow. So we decided to go into it because for me, it was about allowing all of our agents to get to the next level so they can find the most amount of fulfillment. So I'm very excited about getting into Medicare, bringing AIRE Insurance Group into the fold, working with every single one of your amazing people. And SRG, thank you so much for having me. And the thing that I'm excited about is that every single time we get into something new, I'm a little bit of a nut job. So I always want to kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work. And the thing that I love the most about humans is that we're all in sales. We are all in sales. Have you ever heard that? Have you guys ever heard we're all in sales? People go, oh, I'm not in sales. Yes, you are. Do you have a kid? You're selling your kid every single day on how to be a better human. Do you have a friend? You're selling your friend every single day on how to go after their best life. Do you have a husband? You're selling your husband every single day on how to give you his credit card. You are in sales. We are all in sales. And what better way to be in sales if you can really learn how to master the art of influence so you can do it with presence rather than with pressure. And I'm very excited to be able to get into this new vehicle, this new platform, and bring all of these incredible people that we have in our company to learn how amazing health is and to learn with every single one of you ladies. Thank you so much for having me.